So when I was first researching the AOB distillery, their website had 2 whiskies listed, and this was one of them. They call it Reality is Not What It Seems. I mean, absolutely, it sure isn't, I guess. But hey, weird names make no difference to how this thing might taste. So shall we see? The AOB Reality is Not What It Seems, single malt whiskey. Let's do this. This is Whisky Whiskey, I'm John Chidgey. Please remember to drink responsibly, only ever in moderation and where and when it is appropriate to do so. If you are watching this on YouTube and you haven't already, please just take a moment now to like and subscribe and visit engineer.network/whiskey without the E to learn how you can support the show. Thank you. When I was emailing Pete Jaffe, the co-founder of the AOB distillery, he offered to send me a sample of this for me to try. Thank you! Very much appreciated. And it's a very generous sample of 50 mils too. What they've done is put the bottle sticker from the full-size bottle around, and they've wrapped it around the bottle, which is kind of cool. Although the label says it's 700 mils and it really isn't, unless it's some kind of a TARDIS bottle, which it probably isn't. Anyway, whatever. This offering was distilled also by Adams Distillery in Perth, Tasmania, specifically for AOB. AOB specified a trial for what they called an experimental grain bill that heavily featured Gladfield's Manuka smoked malt. Ooh. For those that don't know, Gladfield's is a malting house and grain supplier for beers and spirits based in New Zealand, but most of their products are also available here in Australia. Winning. The Manuka smoked malt is actually a New Zealand Pilsner malt that has been smoked with their Manuka wood. And that's smoked though, not peated. Now, according to Pete, for now at least, this mash bill is exclusively used for this release only. The whiskey has been matured from 2019 in a variety of ex-wine, ex-bourbon, and ex-fortified wine casks with their collective contents blended together after 4 years of independently maturing to then be finished in some Highwayman Distillery ex-peated casks for an additional 3 months. Okay then. Well, this new make, splitting into multiple cask types, mix, let settle, and finish, is actually becoming more common as an approach anyway for making certain whiskies, by craft distilleries anyway, and even some independent bottlers, at least in recent years. It can turn out a very interesting whiskey with a lot of complexity. Sometimes. I guess we'll see if it has for this one or not in just a minute. A little bit more about AOB though before we keep going. They originally bought into a kombucha brewery in Mullumbimby and set up their new still in the back of the brewery. In the past, they'd laid down more whiskey, however, with current stocks they've chosen to slow down for the moment, and currently they only produce on rare occasions. They have a single 500 litre pot still that is used for both wash and spirit runs. Right, now then, a 700ml bottle of this stuff will cost you $195 plus shipping from the AOB Distillery website. It has no age statement, but we know it's a little bit over 4 years. It has a 47.2% ABV, and Pete Jaffe confirmed that it is neither chill filtered nor is it coloured. It's considered to be a small batch release, and there are only 494 bottles available. The website has the following to say about this offering, saying that the grain bill showcases Manuka smoke malt, and that it's finished in ex-Highwayman peated single malt barrels, which we already talked about. Cool. The tasting notes on their websites have the following to say. On the nose, well actually they don't say anything about the nose, never mind. On the palate, Manuka honey, ume, which is of course Japanese pear. And I say of course because I had to look that up, never mind. Green apple, nashi pear, there's lots of pears in this. Anyway, grape bubblegum, okay, toasted wattle seed, leather, caramelized walnut, and tobacco. That is a utterly bizarre mixture of palate flavors, okay? I can't wait to try this, but anyway. And on the finish, actually they don't say anything about the finish either. All right, shall we try this puppy? I've had this sample for a few months. I've been itching to try it. All right, so for the color, I'm going to say that is almost like an Oloroso sherry kind of a color. And I'm looking at these legs. Ooh, lots of little slowly moving legs. Oh, very, very, very slow. Given my sensibilities, that is not a bad sign at all. Let's see what we get on the nose. Woo. Well, she's smoky and peaty. It's both. It's got a little bit of smoke schizophrenia happening. That is bizarre. I mean, not bad, but bizarre. It's different because I can definitely detect that smokiness from the wood. I don't know if I could pick it was Manuka wood, but I can definitely pick that it's a wood smoke. And then I can still get that underlying layer of peat smoke as well. That's uniquely a peat sort of a scent. I'm just trying to figure out if I can get an iodine on this. I think so. I mean, maybe I'm cheating a little bit because I know a little bit about the Highwayman Distillery, and I know a little bit about Dan Woolley, and I know Dan is a big fan of Islay peated whiskey, so if he's got an ex-peated cask, it's probably going to be from one of the Islay distilleries, which means the peat has probably got iodine in it because it's from Islay. Anyway, never mind. So I do think, I'm pretty sure that's not suggestive, I'm not cheating, but I do detect a very faint amount of iodine. When whiskies are finished, when they're finished in an ex, like an ex Lafroig or an ex, well, you're probably going to get Ardbeg, an ex Carlila, cask, you definitely will still get a decent amount of that peat. Nowhere near as much, of course, but enough that you will know it is from an Islay. It's from an Islay distillery. All right, so beyond the peat, now it's had a chance just to peat off a little teeny bit. I'm getting some sort of like a sweet caramel, a little bit of a toffee sort of a smell. It's hard to get much else, actually, because the peat is still overpowering a little bit. All right, we're going to come back for another go at the nose, but let's see what this tastes like. I am dying to try this. It's, like I said, it's been months. I've had this sit on my shelf waiting to try this. Oh, baby. Oh, man. That is chewy and buttery. Like, their other one I've tried, Walking Along the Shore, is more oily, but this has got that more mature butteriness to it, which I love. That. And it is chewy and just banging. Oh, I mean, really. It's got a nice warmth again in the middle of the palate, and a finish on it. It's a little bit. It's probably short to moderate, and for something that's been that's got smoke, and it's been finished in an ex-peated in a peated cask, I would have expected a little bit more peat on the finish, but I'm not really getting too much of it. There's a decent whack on the nose, but if I'm honest, I'm not really getting a heck of a lot. As I mean, it's there. It's not like it just evaporated. It didn't. It's still there. It's just it's not very strong on the finish. But that's fine. All right, let's go again on the nose. All right, now I'm getting them out, the apple. It does have a little bit of a leathery sort of smell to it. I'm not massively... It's not very strong, though. It's super faint. I think it's more apple than pear. Can I be honest? I've got to confess. I've never tried a Japanese pear, so I don't know what an ume tastes like, all right? And I've had a pear before, but I can't tell you if it was a nashi pear or not. So I'm going to say it's green apple. I'm going to agree with that one. I can only give tasting notes and my opinions on things I've actually tasted. But in any case, there's something else, though. Not quite... Yeah, it's toast. It's a toasted. It's almost like a toasted hazelnut a little bit. I reckon it's on the palate. They said caramelized walnut. I'm not getting that though. Let's try again. Okay, I think. Oh, okay, I actually get a little bit of. They say toasted wattle seed. Wattle's quite a distinctive flavor and scent. I'm actually not getting that directly on the palate. I'm getting it as part of the finish, and it's really faint, but it is there. I'm also getting a little bit of that tobacco, kind of like a tobacco leaf, sort of a... It doesn't taste like tobacco, which is good, because tobacco... But I get that little wafting sort of a scent of a tobacco leaf as I'm breathing out. No doubt part of the peat contribution, but still. Jeez, that is pretty bloody good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh boy, making it difficult for me. Gotta rate this now. So where does this sit? For a cost, for that amount of money, and because it is a craft distillery, basically that is a cost of 2, which is affordable for good craft whiskey. However, where does it sit for quality? Because the obvious comparison to make is with the AOB Walking Along the Shore. And honestly, this is definitely a better whiskey. It is definitely it is a better whiskey, but it's also a very different whiskey. Like, if you don't like peated whiskies, then don't get this. If you do like it, you would get this over the Walking Along the Shore. Honestly, I love it, but it's in a very different kind of way. It's a very different kind of whiskey to the other one from AOB that I've tried. I've still got one more to try too. That's coming up next, but I'm gonna give this a high 3. This is truly lovely, but does it make me giggle? Like, it kind of does, but I don't know. It's just, hang on. I'll try again. You know what? Bugger it. That's a 4. I'm going to give that a 4. That is a low 4. It is only just a 4, but I got to give credit where credit is due. This is pretty bloody good, eh? I mean, honestly, the complexity on the nose is that and the slightly nicer mouthfeel. Honestly, I think that is what bumps it over to me. Bugger it. It's a 4. So for a cost of 2 and a quality of 4, this is a green. So if you can manage the $1.95 plus $10 postage Australian, I reckon this is absolutely worth it. Oh my goodness. So that's 2 AOBs down. And guess what? I still got 1 to go. Until then, cheers. See you next time. Oh, damn. That is pretty bloody good.